A crowd gathers at Joplin's Cunningham Park to reflect on the second anniversary of the tornado. And we hear from a member of the Joplin response team that's returned from Moore, Oklahoma.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Resilience, resolve, realization, the theme of a gathering at Joplin's Cunningham Park marking 2 years since the tornado. This is KOAM News at 6. I'm Dow Quick. People have gathered at the park to honor the victims and the heroes and to reflect on just how far we've come. KOAM's Lisa Oligas is there and joins us now live with more.
Well, Dow, the second anniversary of the tornado is a time to gather again in Cunningham Park, but this year they encourage folks to make this a family picnic. The chairs are now cleared after the program ended, and folks are visiting 11 different tents that kind of track Joplin's recovery and rebuilding efforts, and they're spread out throughout the park. They're also seeing the memorials that are here, and of course it's becoming a park again. You can see over my shoulder there's a playground, and kids are playing despite the fact that we wanted a moment of silence. It all started at 4:40 with the program, and then of course at 5:41 all attention became focused on that moment of silence as all paused. Hundreds shared that moment in the park. Some were saddened by memories, others looking hopeful for Joplin. Now, the city's long-term recovery committee and Jane Cage, its leader, were given an award from Department of Homeland Security Secretary Janet Napolitano, and a big announcement was made, a $20 million grant from the Department of Commerce to help Joplin rebuild its library and a movie theater at the 20th Street location. So those are exciting news, and now it's kind of a celebration here at the park, that the park is nearly completely rebuilt, that there's rebuilding and recovery going on all across Joplin. Folks are here sharing food, sharing stories, and sharing time together as the community recovers and is becoming an example to others throughout the world, as the Governor Jay Nixon said in his speech, and especially to those who are suffering at the disaster in Moore, Oklahoma. So Joplin trying to be an inspiration for others and those trying to celebrate those lives that are here in Cunningham Park. We'll be back with Melody Colbert-King, the mayor, to talk about the progress the city has been making coming up in a few minutes. Dow, back to you.
It's great to see so many people there. This must be an uplifting experience for an awful lot of people. Lisa Oligas, thanks, Lisa. 161 people were killed by the Joplin tornado. One family today honored their son here, 16-year-old Lance Hare, who lost his life at 20th in Wisconsin. Lance was in his mother's vehicle at the Dillon's grocery store parking lot when he was taken by the tornado. Friends and family gathered at his memorial bench to release balloons and look back on his life and legacy. He was a BMXer. Hare's mother says until something is rebuilt on the site, it will be Lance's place.
Lance was cremated, so he doesn't have a burial. So it's nice to be able to come here, and we buried a time capsule in the back there, and I think people just like having some place to come.
The Hare family has since set up a foundation in honor of their son that strives to keep kids in positive programs ranging from biking competitions to working with Lifehouse. For more details on that, just go to our website. That's KOAMTV.com. People attending that Cunningham Park event have a chance to sign a banner of hope for the victims in Moore, Oklahoma. It's a 20-foot-long banner with the words "Miracle of the Human Spirit." That's the same message the city of Joplin adopted as its mantra the past few years as Joplin continues to rebuild.
Stay strong, that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. It doesn't seem that way now, but there definitely is. There's definitely a light at the end of the tunnel.
City officials encourage anyone to come and sign and/or leave a message of hope for the people of Moore. One Joplin police officer who's just returned from a trip to Moore describes a state of turmoil there, just as he saw after the tornado in Joplin. KOAM's Jordan Abbey joins us now live from Cunningham Park with that story.
Dow 10 Joplin police officers, 4 Joplin firefighters, and 2 Mets ambulance workers here in Joplin went on this trip to Moore. The Joplin police officer we talked with says this trip was both heartbreaking and gratifying.
What was once part of an ongoing nightmare for Joplin is now happening in Moore, Oklahoma.
It's kind of unique until you've been around the area of a tornado like we have. The smells of upturned dirt, insulation, broken wood, natural gas leaking. It just kind of has its own unique smell.
Joplin knows about hurt. Lieutenant Sloan Rowland with the Joplin Police Department says is the type of hurt felt no less or no more from other disasters.
You see kids' toys and things like that in the midst of the rubble. People digging through, houses and things to try to find what they could salvage.
Rowland and 9 other Joplin police officers went to Moore on Monday evening to help with patrol.
It was a short time frame that we did that because there was a lot of officers that showed up from larger communities like Oklahoma City and Tulsa pretty quick.
Rowland and the rest of the Joplin group spent one day in Moore. A tired Rowland returned back to a community he's helped to protect for 10 years. He says a recent show of gratitude will stick with him for the rest of his life.
It's kind of interesting. Even on the way back, we're driving back up the interstate and we're having vehicles passing us holding up signs where somebody had marked thank you as they passed us and held it up to the windows. We're driving back home.
Officials in Moore say 24 people are dead. That includes 9 children. Authorities are confident, though, that all survivors and victims have been found. The Joplin Police Department left a promise with the Moore Police Department that the Joplin Police will be around with whatever to help with whatever Moore Police Department needs in the future. Reporting live in Joplin, Jordan Nobby, KOAM News. Now back to you.
And we know the people of Moore, Oklahoma are hurting a lot, but perhaps they can get some inspiration from all that's happening in Joplin. Jordan Nobby. Thanks, buddy. A bit windy out there, but otherwise not a bad day to be out at Cunningham Park. Doug?
No, it actually turned out to be a pretty good day. High temperatures, mainly low 70s across the region, which is below normal, but we will take it. At least it's dry. We're getting a chance to dry out across the area, and we actually have partly cloudy skies at this point in time, and that should be the case as we work through the rest of the evening hours. Zooming in, temperatures right now, most of us anywhere from about 70 upwards to about 74, 75 degrees, and we will slowly drop back as we head through the rest of the evening hours, eventually down near 60 by 11 p.m. and I think we'll bottom out into lower 50s later on tonight. Thunderstorm chances do return. We'll talk about that here in a bit.
All right, we'll catch you then. Thanks, Doug. Still ahead, we're going to continue our coverage of the anniversary of the Joplin tornado. We're going to talk with the mayor, who was out at Cunningham Park with an update on the rebuilding progress, plus the cleanup of damage in Pittsburgh from storms earlier this week.
Live from KOAM, this is KOAM News at 6, the 4 states' most watched news.
The anniversary event continues in Joplin. We're going to go back out to Cunningham Park, where Lisa Olliges is standing by with the Joplin mayor. Lisa.
Here at Cunningham Park, we've seen how far it has come in the past 2 years with trees planted, shelters built, memorials, but the city lost more than parks. Thousands of homes and hundreds of businesses, and we're going to talk to the mayor right now about the progress. Melody Colbert-Keene, tell us about the progress of the city. Where are we now? Are we halfway there? Are we rebuilt?
If we had to have a meter, I'd say we're about 70%. We still have a long way to go. We have some new projects coming out, but we are doing it. We are making it.
What would you say is the greatest impact? We know we've had lots of volunteers. What do you think has spelled our success so well so quickly?
Our determination. We went from total devastation just about to complete determination, and we have made Joplin exactly what it is now 2 years later. We still have a long way to go, but people who did not know Joplin would come here and just be like, whoa, there's good things happening here. And there are good things happening here, and it's all because of our people.
Just announced $20 million grant to help in the rebuilding. What difference will that make for you?
$20 million. That's a good thing for Joplin. That's actually going to be a catalyst project for the library, and it's going to have the theater over the top of it. It's going to be an awesome place down there on 20th and Connecticut. Everybody needs to come out and see it and just get ready for the shovel to hit the dirt, and we're excited for that.
Thank you, Mayor. Congratulations today.
Thank you.
Lots of good news today at the 2nd anniversary celebration remembrance here in Cunningham Park. It is a park again. Kids are playing, families are sharing meals, and that's exactly what the city officials want, is to restore Joplin and bring it back to what it was before. Reporting live at Cunningham Park, Lisa Oligas. Now back to you.
Lots of good things going on in Joplin. Lisa Oligas. Thanks, Lisa. Pittsburgh city leaders met this morning to discuss response efforts after Monday's storm there. 1,100 people were without power on Monday. Since then, power has been restored, for some rebuilding already underway. Schlanger Park was also hit pretty hard. Trees were uprooted and the skate park had some damage. The city wants to make sure after every storm improvements are made.
You know, we're kind of the first responders. We have the police, the fire, the public works trucks, the administrators. So we want to make sure that we're improving every time.
The National Weather Service has not surveyed the area to determine if there was a tornado there. Tonight at 10, a Pittsburgh resident who was just inches away from a tree during the storm is going to talk with us. Still ahead on KOAM News at 6, Doug Heddy has your complete 7-day forecast.
Well, it's turned out to be a great day outside for us today. Much calmer than what we have seen over the past several days. We actually have partly to mostly sunny skies, temperatures nice, and actually a chance to dry out just a bit after all the rain that we saw Sunday, Monday, and even yesterday. Checking outside, here is a live shot of Downstream Casino. A few little cumulus clouds out there, but looks pretty good. And this should be the case as we roll through the rest of the evening hours. Much of the same in Joplin, also partly cloudy skies, current conditions for you. We are sitting at 70, west winds at about 10. Pressure has been holding steady and our humidity is sitting at about 61%. We can even check out some other live temperatures at the airport, 70. Let's head south. In downtown Joplin, sitting at about 71. Webb City also at about 70 degrees. Pittsburgh, a hair warmer, is sitting at about 72 degrees. And then if we look across the entire four-state area, most areas anywhere from about 70 in Carthage upwards to 76. In Coffeyville, Veneta is sitting at about 77. Then we have Lamar at about 69 degrees. And these temperatures will slowly drop back as we head through the rest of the evening hours. But not much is going on. Just a few little cumulus clouds out there. That should be the case as we roll through really about the next few hours, and then I think we'll see mostly clear skies for the rest of the night for us tonight. And in general, that should be about it. Temperatures will slowly drop back near 60 by 11 p.m. And I think really the next couple days look okay. We do have a couple little waves, one out across southeastern parts of Colorado, also out across the Pacific Northwest, but our jet stream kind of races up across the northern parts of the plains. And because it does that, these guys never have a chance to actually push through, but they're close enough, they're going to give us chances for at least spotty little pop-up showers and thunderstorms as we head through the next several days. Warm temperatures really for about the next week. We'll see pop-up little scattered thunderstorms. And of course, you can always get my long-range forecast on my month-long blog at KOAMTV.com. Tonight looks fine, kind of cool for the latter half of May. We'll dip down into lower 50s for overnight lows. And then tomorrow looks pretty good as we're going to warm up nicely, mid-70s for afternoon highs. But some spotty showers, especially across Oklahoma. Very slight chance one of those could sneak in as we head into the afternoon. We'll shoot for 73 for an afternoon high, so pretty much a carbon copy of what we saw today. Rain chances slowly increase towards the holiday weekend. Still fairly low, so we're not going to have a rain out anytime soon. And temperatures slowly increase as well, eventually into lower 80s by Memorial Day.
Good. Let's dry out a bit if possible.
I know it. We need it.
Yes, we do. The farmers will sure tell you that. Jake joins us. The teams departing today for state tournaments.
Yes, now a lot of local teams beginning the quest for their respective state titles. We'll look at the matchups. Plus, we'll see how the sports world united 2 years ago to help with the relief efforts in Joplin after the tornado. Over the past few days, we've seen an enormous amount of support for the town of Moore, Oklahoma. The support similar to what the city of Joplin saw after the devastating tornado hit just 2 years ago. Athletes from across Missouri showed that sports is about much more than the game itself when collegiate and professional teams alike came together to show their support for the city of Joplin as a part of the governor's challenge. Whether it was the Royals and Cardinals wearing the Eagles baseball caps during batting practice or the Mizzou Tigers driving down and helping out with the team's cleanup. Joplin native Jamie McMurray, a NASCAR driver, showed his support with an enormous Joplin logo on his #1 car just days after the tragedy. And the Chiefs and Rams, along with all the other athletes, came together to build homes and playgrounds. 7 teams total combined in the effort, accomplishing the governor's challenge goal of building 35 homes last year. Well, moving to current baseball, the Colgan Panthers departed for Manhattan today, making their record 43rd trip to the state tournament. The Panthers are the 5th seed out of 8 teams at the 3A state tourney after going 14-5 during the regular season and winning the regional championship last week over Riverton 3-2. Now that they're state bound, the Panthers are now just 3 wins away from a possible 3A state title, but their first round matchup is going to be a tough one. Taking a look at the bracket, Colgan and Lions Chase will play on Thursday afternoon at 1:30. The Humboldt Cubs also in the hunt for the 3A state championship as the #2 seed, taking on Salina Sacred Heart. Their game set for 4 p.m. All of the contests taking place at Toynton Family Stadium at Kansas State, with the only time the Cubs and Panthers would possibly see each other being the championship game on Friday. The Frontenac softball team is also headed to state. The Raiders didn't allow a single run during their 3-game stretch at regionals and will be going up against the Pratt Greenbacks in the first round tomorrow. As one of the smaller schools in 4A, 3rd-seeded Frontenac is considered somewhat of an underdog. And although the Raiders don't have a lot of knowledge of the teams they'll be seeing in Emporia, they say they're ready.
With this group, I don't think it's going to matter. You know, I mean, if anything, I think it's an advantage because they've seen great pitching through summer ball. They've seen great pitching in our league and our competitors, and they're ready. You know, like whatever the challenge is, they're like, bring it on, and so am I. Whoever it is, we'll take them on.
We're going in knowing as we're probably the underdog, and all year we felt like we're playing as the underdog, and we kind of play mad during games, but not too mad to where we don't do well. But that's our definitely main focus, is going in knowing that we're the underdog.
The Neosho County baseball team is getting set for their 2nd straight appearance at the Junior College World Series this weekend. Their first round game taking place Sunday. They had to wait a while to find out who their opponent was out of the Western Division, but the Panthers will face off against Cochise College out of Arizona. That game taking place at 7:30. So a lot of teams hoping for a state and for the Panthers a national title.
All right, and it's good to reflect on what all of those teams, all of those athletes did for Joplin to raise their spirits and raise some walls.
It's great. It's great when you can take sports and use it to do something other than just play the game.
Absolutely. Doug's going to be right back with the last check of the forecast, but first we honor a local veteran. Greg Trotnick began serving in the U.S. Army in 1992 and fought in Iraq. His hometown, Pittsburgh, and we're proud to salute Greg Trotnick, a 4-state hero. Tonight at 10, we're going to have more from the 2nd anniversary event in Cunningham Park. Plus, we're going to check out the volunteer tent at the event, look at how those volunteers helped in rebuilding the city. And we're going to hear from the Secretary of Homeland Security, Janet Napolitano, who stopped in Joplin for the anniversary. Hope you join us for KOAM News at 10. Beautiful. We didn't see a raindrop today, Doug.
Yeah, and it looks like the rest of the evening hours is going to be shaping up pretty nice as we drop back through the 60s. Pretty much clear skies. 73 tomorrow, 75 on Friday. Very slight chances for a shower.
And a final sports note.
Royals try to get above 500 tonight at 10. We will have highlights of their game.
They had been, struggled, and now they're fighting their way
back there.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you right back here at 10. Let's make it a great evening.